Alright, we're gonna try this one more time because for some reason audio is hating me right now. Apparently we're exceeding the too much usage, man. But we're gonna continue what we left off.
I was talking about so how brands that we thought when we were younger were super unobtainable are now just right fucking down the road at Walmart.
Yeah.
Like with the skateboards and stuff like that. I grew up thinking Darkstar was a super top tier company that you could only buy at like skate shops and stuff like that. Now I'm seeing them everywhere. Like I can see them at head shops too. I'm just like, what? Yeah. And I look at them and you can obviously tell they're cheaply made and stuff. I would never skate that because it would break and it would just make me mad because that's just a waste of money at that point. Because they price them almost at a professional board's price, which is insane. Why would you price it that? It's too much.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous at times.
And then now we have Champion.
He's trying to fall asleep.
When we were kids, Champion was just a Walmart brand.
Yeah.
And if you were caught wearing Champion as a kid, you got laughed at. You got made fun of so much, oh, look at the Walmart kid over here. Look at the Walmart kid.
It's from Walmart.
Right? And then now, oh my god, what is it? What's the deal with that? It's in the mall and stuff. I'm just like, bro, what? I remember when I got made fun of for wearing your sweatpants.
But now it's okay.
But now it's okay. What is going on, right?
Well, they want that whole retro shit. They're like, we're going back to retro now, and it's like,
We're not old enough for it to be retro. Fuck off, guys.
Well, that's the younger generation now. I think they see it as, oh, it's retro now. Look at it.
See, I know we did that same shit too.
This is what our older brother wore once.
Yeah, this is what I remember my
10-year-old brother.
This is what my 20-year-old dad used to wear.
This is my dad in his 20s.
I mean, cause kids these days, kids are having kids, and it's crazy.
The kids are having kids.
It's true, man. We thought it was bad when we had 16 and pregnant and stuff like that.
Yeah, I thought that taught the lesson, but apparently
it glorified it, and it made it so much worse. Cause even when before MTV got way worse and they were still following that show. I had to watch that show growing up because of my family. A lot of females, they like that shit. But I remember they had the what happened afterwards and shit to them
after 16 and pregnant,
right? And they looked terrible.
I was shot, everyone. That's the end of the void noise.
This is the void noise, guys. But yeah, no. And I don't know. Things are just weird. I might just be getting old. I'm getting old, guys. I feel like how my parents did when they had us. Just God, the hell are these kids doing?
What do they want?
What do they want? What's going on?
Oh, I wanted to show you this. So this is one of my fun things I do on tables matches.
I just like to grab the crotches.
No. Powerbomb into
Eddie Guerrero. Winner.
From out of the ring into table. It's the greatest thing ever. I'm like, oh, I can finally do this. Hell yeah.
Finally drop them.
Yeah, fucking top drop them through a table.
Give me that bitch.
Give me that bill.
Give me the mount. I'm sorry. I can't without seeing that video, Anytime that happens, somebody gets awarded a belt, that's all I think about. Give me the belt.
Give me the belt.
Give me the belt. What are you doing, Connor? What do you do? Gotta know, Connor. No means no.
Dick right hook. No, right here.
Dick punch.
Dick punch. Fucking Conor McGregor wanting everyone's belt.
Yeah, give me your belt.
Conor McGregor
What?
wants your
No,
belt.
fuck off, dude. Fuck off, Orion. Give me your belt.
I love the fact that he eats them too.
Yeah, no, he's achieved so many belts, he just starts eating them. He's gotta absorb the power of the belt.
The power.
The power!
Oh, you know what I heard? No, I actually seen. Take that back. I seen a short about Puss in Boots, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, it's a little known thing, or a little thing that you miss in this certain part. So, you remember when he's fighting the giant?
Yeah.
So, remember when the crowd does a wave? He's standing behind the crowd. Death.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Oh, see, I didn't catch that the first time around.
Dude, I had seen that movie before, and I just didn't want to say a fucking word to you guys. I was waiting for you guys to see the movie so I could be like, bro, let me tell you something. Dude, no, the funny thing is, the first time I went to go watch that movie, I was hanging out with my old roommate and her friend, who was a pretty cool dude. And at the time, I was trying to get a bead on the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the way she talked about him made me think, oh, this dude is, you know, he may be gay. Cool. You know? And then one thing that threw me off is, like, we went to the movies, and right before we went to go watch it, we didn't know what we were going to watch. We just went to the movies to go watch something.
Mm-hmm.
He walked past the Puss in Boots movie poster, and he saw Death on it. He's like, let's go watch Puss in Boots. I was like, cool. I guess.
Featuring Death.
Right? And then he hits me with, I don't know, but there's some that wolf there with them sickles. Yes, daddy. I mean, what? I was like, bro, what? And he's like, I'm not a furry. I'm not outing myself. And we, like, joked about it the whole time, right? The whole
That sounds
time.
like you
furry
kinda,
thing, right?
that sounds like you kind of outed yourself a bit.
Right?
I don't know how you're gonna bullshit your way out
But
of
he
that one.
still swears up and down to this day that he is not a furry. I'm just like, but that's what you said. And then he tried to turn it around and say that. I mean, I was just picking back off of what somebody else said. I was like, bro, you were the one that brought it up. You saw the poster. You were like, let's go watch that movie. There's something about him. I was just like, hey, yo. Did I hear you correctly, bro? I mean, that's cool, but, like, did I hear you correctly?
I mean, I guess at least he didn't do it to Puss himself.
Yeah, no.
Man, like I said, I don't even know how I would go about that. I'll be like,
Well, I mean,
that's strange.
At first, I wasn't too up for watching the movie because, like, I've told you about before about that weird, like, kind of still framed 3D animation. I don't know. There's something about it. I don't know. There's just something about that animation that just throws everything off for me, and it honestly has made me miss out on a lot of good movies that I've had to go rewatch. Just because I'm like, oh, that animation is just like, seems lazy to me. But it was a good movie, and I honestly was like, yo, Death is a really cool character in this one. Because at first...
No, he was. I definitely enjoyed that that interpretation was a little bit...
Yeah.
I can see an origin movie of just that character.
Yeah, but I mean, he is Death himself. Like, he is not a personification. He is not
a metaphor.
A metaphor. He is the physical embodiment of Death. Like, he is Death reincarnate.
But he went out of his way to go chase a legend.
Well, he chased after somebody who was so arrogant he thought he was immortal.
Yeah.
And in all legends of Death, or the Grim Reaper, Angel of Death, whatever you want to call it, you know, they have always been mad about the fact when people believe that they're immortal, that they can never die, that nothing bad could ever harm them. You know, that's what you know, the movie's all about, like, you know, everybody has their limits, everybody gets old, you know, sometimes you gotta settle down sometimes, you know.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's what I got from, yeah, pretty much the whole message of the movie.
Right. And at first when before I watched it, I was watching, like, little, snippets and stuff, like, people's theories. They were talking about how right before death shows up and there's 3 bells that toll. And, it's kind of hard to hear it if you don't have, like, headphones or anything on. And it's good to have subtitles. That way you can, like, see it in the subtitles. It was like bell tolls 3 times 3. Because it's super faint. But it's a really good touch to, like, the bell for whom the bell tolls.
Yeah, and you know what kind of story this is gonna be.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Had Ryan Reynolds. Hi, this is not a kids movie.
Hi, I'm Ryan Reynolds. I was previewed this movie, and I gotta say, this is not a child's film.
This is not.
They're gonna learn some things that they're a little hard to talk about.
They're gonna learn about their own mortality.
But we're gonna go through
and that comes for us all.
We're gonna go through it together.
Yeah, imagine that.
I just picture him saying all this in his Deadpool outfit.
Yeah, me too. He's just sitting there.
It's the only way I can take him.
He had the script in his hand and just sits it down. Just hi, I'm Ryan Reynolds.
I was gonna be in this movie,
but I opted out because this is really fucked up.
So I became the producer.
Instead. Enjoy. Oh god, that'd be amazing.
Just picture that meme of him in the outfit laughing. The fucking whole fake forced laugh.
Oh yeah. No, it was really good actually. I think it was definitely better than the other one. The first person.
Yeah, the first one. Yeah, and that was another thing I noticed too. I was just like,
they did bring a lot of Easter eggs from the first one.
They
I did like that.
But I realized how long it's been since the first one.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit!
You also learn how
2011.
long it's been since like the whole encounter between like Puss in Boots 1, 2, and the last Shrek movie that was played.
Yeah, which now with him returning to Far, Far Away,
yeah.
That's what everyone's been hyped on, even from reactors.
Oh yeah, I remember they were like, there's a little Easter egg that we might get to see another Shrek movie. I was like, damn, bro, there's no way we're gonna get another Shrek movie at our age. There's no way, right? Thought they were done. But nah, like it's gonna be a good one. Hopefully.
I think if they do, it's probably gonna be the one that wraps it up for Shrek.
Final, yeah, and probably like the full end of like that whole fairy tale scene.
Maybe. I feel like they might try to push one more Puss in Boots movie, but
they could do like some other characters, maybe may have like a donkey like movie one day.
Yeah, but
his origin story of how he started talking and stuff.
Yeah,
actually might be interesting.
Yeah,
before he got to Shrek.
Yeah, because he never met. He never once.
I mean, the
said
only
in
time
the movies
that we ever kind of hear any kind of backstory is like in the first one, where all he was talking about was how he got sold into the thing. He was just like, I'm a talking donkey. Yeah, I don't know, something about. I don't think we really did actually.
Not that I'm remembering. I'm
I'll
like,
have to go watch that movie again.
I think it's on Hulu actually. Or
I think so, yeah.
I think either Hulu. That might be a movie I might want to watch tonight.
Yeah, I might have to rewatch those.
But yeah, it's just weird for me because I was like, fuck. I remember going and seeing the first Shrek movie when I was a kid.
Yeah.
In theaters.
I didn't watch it when in theaters when I was a kid. I remember when it came out on VHS.
Well, my mom and my dad kind of did it too. They would try to every now and then try to take us to go to the theaters and go see a movie.
Right.
And it kind of became a thing. Like I was even doing it before before COVID happened. Because the last movie I seen, actually 2 movies actually, was Sonic the Hedgehog.
That was actually a pretty good movie.
It was great. It was a good movie, and it
so
was
great.
great.
The second one.
It was great in theaters, and then the movie I seen before that was actually on Christmas Eve, midnight of Christmas Eve morning. Technically, the fresh morning of Christmas. I was watching the last Star Wars movie.
I'm so sorry.
I didn't mind it. I liked it.
I couldn't, man. It was.
Like, to me, it's one of those movies. To me, for me, and I'm just speaking from my own personal opinion. The last newish Star Wars movies, you know, The Force Awakens and all that led up to the last one, and even Rogue One. Even though I need to rewatch that because I keep falling asleep in the beginning of it and it drives me nuts. I'm like,
dude,
why
I
can't I
fall
watch
asleep
this
every
movie?
time I watch the Solo movie.
I
I'm
like
sitting
the
there
Solo
like-
movie though.
I try so hard. I can't. I don't know why. It doesn't matter how hard I try.
Do I need to keep like a shock collar, put it on you, and then every now and then when you start dozing up,
Probably, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. There's very few movies that do that to me.
I mean, some movies
Rogue
do.
One does that too.
Yeah, I don't know what it was about Rogue One, but man, it was like, it's like I'm just trying to get through this movie, man.
You know, there's something about Star Wars that I love that actually George Lucas was like, you know, this is now canon.
Yeah.
And it's the so it started off as like just like a book and like as an idea. It was the Death Troopers.
Mm-hmm.
So before what we see in the TV shows and like the movies of what they call Death Troopers, this dude had messaged George Lucas, was like, yo, I have an idea for a book of like Star Wars, but like with zombies. And George Lucas was like, let me think on this for a bit, right? Thinks on it. He's like, yeah, you know what?
We can do that.
We're doing this. Like, we're gonna collab together on this, right? And like the dude's like, yo, is it cool if I can use, you know, known characters? He's like, yes, but as long as those known characters aren't gonna die and they're gonna be in the next movie, right? If they're gonna be in the next movie, then like they can't die, right?
Right.
So the story is like, it's this alien hive mind kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
And how it infects the body is like it gets into your body through your pores, your mouth, any open orifice that your body has.
Jesus.
Which is, your body's fucking covered in that, by the way.
Yeah.
And it's like this black liquid thing, but it gets into your brain. It completely takes over your nervous system and everything, zombifies you. And it's a hive mind, so it can talk. And they all talk in unison too, so fucking creepy. But yeah, the book was super interesting because like they can crawl through like they can flatten themselves to fit through the walls and the panels of the ships, and then like bust through, because it stars Han Solo, Chewbacca, and I think 2 other characters that were introduced in Rogue One. They were in it, and they all were actual slaves that were being traded. Like Chewie and Han Solo, they're not slaves. They were just wanted fugitives, obviously, and they were collected on a bounty. And the ship that they were on, the prisoner transport ship, had got a distress beacon, and they went to go check it out. And you know, all this stuff starts happening. Well, they found one of the main specimens, right, from the actual planet that the Empire had collected it from.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things, it's just like a wall of lungs, right? And like they walk into this room, and it just starts screeching. All these lungs just start screeching, right? It's breaking glass and stuff around it. It's crazy. They did a really good job. You can find it on YouTube, actually. They did a audio.
Oh, like audiobook?
Yeah, they did a pretty good audiobook on it, actually.
I'll have to watch that sometime.
Yeah, it did so well, actually, that it was on the Amazon Prime Kindles and stuff like that. It was on, like, Google Play. It was on audio something. that audiobook app.
Oh,
Audio.
Audio.
Yeah, it was on that for like so long. And I mean, you can still get physical copies. I remember seeing that actually one day in Harps when I was younger.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was a pretty good book. Really dark too. It
imagine.
literally takes like Star Wars into a whole different like
Area.
direction.
Mm.
Something you didn't think would be like in Star Wars, because like you see things in the movies, you know, TV shows, sometimes even in the comics that can get dark, but not like downright gruesome and horrific like this book can.
Mm.
And I'm so sad that they will never actually make a real like thing on it.
Yeah, that is pretty lame.
Because even like I don't know if you know like how Death Troopers in the movies and stuff are actually produced.
No, I don't remember.
It's pretty fucking dark, actually. They only talk about it in the comics. So, like, how Death Troopers are produced, they were decommissioned clone troopers from Order 66 that were some of the best that had survived, right?
Mm.
Well, they wanted to engineer them, modify them more. And kind of talks a little bit on it in the Star Wars show, The Bad Batch.
Oh, okay.
And so yeah, so most of them are kind of based off of their DNA as well, because they were originally part of the program. They were the first one, but you know they're kind of decommissioned because they're rogues.
Yeah.
And their implants didn't really work. Well, they would rip out the organs, limbs, and brain tissues and everything of these clone troopers and implant them into a mechanical body.
Jeez.
Yeah, so like the first ones were like half robotic. They were like cyborgs essentially. And it was pretty gruesome hearing how like they would get like spliced and stuff. Because they were grafted, essentially.
Yeah.
It was that's the more, like, gruesome way I could explain it, is, like, being grafted to something. Essentially just being a robotic human centipede. Just being sewn to something, and it's extremely painful, right?
Yeah.
And by the time that the procedure's finally done, they have completely burnt out all the nervous system, right? All nerve endings and everything. Now they're completely under control. And then once they started realizing, you know, humans are more disposable than we think, and especially clones, because we can just make more of those.
Yeah.
But, you know, what's one thing that's not super fragile and super, you know, easily disposable? Hyper improved robots. So they took that same thing, but just took the human organs and implanted them into a robot. Oof. Yeah, and it's really dark and disturbing, because the ones that we see in the movie, like I think in the last one that land on the ship in space that are all white,
yeah,
those are the new improved Death Troopers that have the human body parts in them, the organs, right?
But they're robots.
Yeah, the ones that
Cyborgs,
that had the black armor,
Mm.
and I think there was one scene where you could see them being manufactured. They were just black armored ones. Those were the grafted ones.
Okay.
Yeah, those ones were the really fucked up ones. I think both versions are fucked up, but the first version is more fucked up because they're still alive while it's being the operation's happening. They're still awake. Yeah, it's real fucked up, man.
Jeez.
There's a lot of really interesting stories in Star Wars, like the one clone trooper that got a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Like Vader gave a clone trooper a lightsaber, and then he was like, you know, I'm good. And the fact is that like Palpatine had so much like evil presence in just him being around you. Like, you could see that more in the comics than you would in the movies.
Count Dooku.
Well, no, like...
I was thinking of Count Dooku, because he was another one that was a Sith Lord that anyone that was around him, he demanded. It was...
Well, he was also...
It used to be a Jedi.
Well, he was more feared, and the fact is that he knew how to get what he wanted, even if it meant him getting his hands dirty, which he didn't even care.
Yeah.
Like, if he wanted something, it was going to happen one way or another. Like, there was no stopping it. Everybody knew that. But, like, Palpatine, though, he didn't even have to actually do anything. He just had such a booming presence, such a evil lurking, like, energy. Like, in the comics, when they introduced Vader, he's been there like for a while, right? And then by the time that he actually introduces him as their second in command, like, all the troopers, like Vader's trying to say shit to them, they're not listening, right? And then he walks out, Palpatine does. They all immediately go dead silent, kneel to the ground, right? Even Vader, like, stops and, like, kind of has a chill and then, like, backs up and to the side. Palpatine steps up and he's like, you know, rise, and he's like, anything I say goes. Anything he says is my word. It's absolute, right? And they're all like, who the fuck is this guy, you know, that Palpatine's trying to introduce us to? Like, that's such the influence that Palpatine had. And it's crazy.
Need to put the phone on the charger.
I do really wish that they would have, you know, touched more up on that in the movies and stuff, like, showed how much, like, this dude really had, how much power this guy really had over the world.
Yeah, he did, and that was just also him being a Jedi, too. He was a master saberist.
Yeah.
And then he became a Sith Lord, but also, when you read up on it, you're like, okay, I could kind of see why he became a Sith.
Yeah. You can kind of see why a lot of them became Siths, but if you're, like, I mean, there's the Gray Jedi Code, which is neutral.
Yeah,
they don't believe in the light or the dark side.
Yeah, my buddy Luke, he's a big Star Wars fan.
I
mean, he has all the books. He has all the comics. A friend of his has all the comics. He digitally printed them for him, and he sent them through a file form.
That's actually pretty cool.
He keeps it on a big, like, it's a bigger hard drive than mine that hides behind the PlayStation 2, or PlayStation 4. Wow.
PlayStation 2.
That's how you know I'm high.
That's how you know.
I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time.
That's a cookie.
Big a cookie. But, yeah, no, like, he has all the books, he has all the comics, and, yeah, he was showing me that one day. He was like, yeah, there's this neutral ground with Sith and Jedi.
Oh, yeah.
And they're the Greys. Or Grey.
The Grey Order.
Grey Order, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I don't know about this. So he showed me the whole thing about
I don't know, if you should read, like, the Vader comics. Like, that whole series is really interesting as well.
I think he has those too, but
I don't think we have enough time to get into that. But
no. Yeah, we're coming up to the 2-minute-ish mark. Yeah, about 2 minutes-ish.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, but it, man, what's a good way to end this, man? So deep right now. Do you have any words of encouragement?
Don't do drugs, kids. Stay in school. Remember DARE.
Remember Dare the Tiger.
None of us in the 90s followed it, but you kids do it. Look it up and figure it out. Just don't wear the fucking shirts like a fucking moron.
Follow the tiger.
God, I hate seeing that. Just seeing kids wearing that shit. I'm like, oh, cool, Dare. And they're like, huh? I'm like, shut the fuck up.
You're on drugs right now,
You're on drugs. You're high right now. Oh, you gotta remember those commercials? You're high right now, aren't you?
I just picture, you know what, maybe that's what I should have worn at the last show we went to with the Dare shirt.
Dare shirt, yeah.
Well,
just get the whole band to wear Dare shirts.
No, because me and Jay will be hypocrites.
I know.
Anyway, this is the end of the show. I want to thank Noah for being on.
Thank you guys for having me.
And this is the Void Noise signing out. Have a good one. Have fun.
Bye.
Do Baba booey, baba booey, baba booey, share booey, baba booey, PS4.